good morning here. I'm here in our milk house, and we've been struggling the last while having a higher PI count than we like, or that the dairy likes us to have, and what we like as well. And we've been trying different things, checking different things, and not really finding anything. And we look in the milk tank, and it seemed clean, but the other day we had one that was a little high again, and so I actually crawled down inside the milk tank, and we had the milk equipment company come out and check the wash cycles in the milker and the tank to make sure everything was right. Well, they seen the pressure wasn't real good in the milk tank. The propeller thing is inside the washer down here, and there's a hole over here on this side that the water goes into that side, and then it shoots it out. This thing's spinning around in there, and that's what creates the pressure. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this here or not, but yeah, if you see how that is cracking apart right there, it's not supposed to be like that. Something's coming apart. Yeah, I'm up here there's a ladder. You climb up on the outside of the tank, and then yeah, I stuck the ladder down inside the tank, this little one that's made for that. But there's a hole here, there's a lid that closes on the top of the tank, but then yeah, you can open it up. That's a hole I'm gonna have to go down through, or that I will go down through. Yeah, well, I'm inside my milk tank here. Oh boy, it's gonna echo like crazy. Yeah, our tank is a 5,000 gallon tank. It hasn't went through the wash cycle yet. The milkman just left and we rinsed it out, and it has two stirrators that stick down in here. There's one there and then one up here. The tank's probably, I'm gonna say, close 20 feet long maybe. But if you look up here, right here's where one of the wash, where the wash water sprays down through. Kind of has a little pan thing there on the bottom that makes it jet spray out all over the place. Then there's another one back here near the back. And so yeah, but right here we found a little bit of buildup here on the top of the tank. I kind of hate to show that, but that's what it is. So we're gonna take some water, soapy water, and scrub that all up good, and hopefully with that new propeller thing in there, that it'll keep it clean after that. So yeah, something small like that can cause issues like we've been having. There you can see the ladder sticking down there in the front. That light shining down, it's shining down through that manhole. And yeah, I'm ready to crawl back out now. Yeah, there's all the controls that run the tank. This box right here, you can either turn it off, or you can turn it over to cool, or you turn it over to wash. And yeah, just turn it to wash and click the detergent cycle, and it'll go through the whole cycle. Or you can just do just an acid or just a sanitize. And then over on this side, you have different things to start the compressors when you like them. Tonight, whenever we come, when the milkman went today, yeah, we flip that over to cool and push the button there, the second one down, for cooling all units. Then over here is another little box that has your soap and acid jars on it. Yeah, some of them have an automatically filter in the amount. We got to fill them up every time the milkman comes. That's what was with it when we got our tank, and yeah, you get used to it. It's not that bad, but yeah. I wanted to say I'm here waiting on the washer to start. I want to see how it does wash since that new jet thing is in. I wasn't here the other day when they had got it to wash with that in. Yeah, they check several different things in the milk. The one, they pull a regular bacteria sample, and then they'll do one that's called a lab pasteurization count, and LPC, I think that one is. And then they do one that's called a PI count. What they do with the PI count, the regular bacteria sample, they check the bacteria in the milk, parts per million in the regular milk. But then the PI count is they incubate it. I think they do it at like 55 degrees for maybe like 18 hours. And then they check the bacteria again, and what they're looking for at that is, they've been doing that for years. What they're looking for with that is, like, if somebody lets a milk carton sit out for a while, supposedly the bacteria grows faster if Obviously, if it's sitting out in a warmer room temperature, the bacteria will grow faster. But yeah, so they like to, I forget what the state levels are. Our dairy likes the regular bacteria count to be under 10,000 parts per million or parts per billion. I forget which it is, parts per million, I think. And the PI count under 20,000, I think it is. And usually we're well below that, but once in a while we have them spike. So the higher up that it'll spike, even though they do pasteurize it when they process it, yeah, it'll supposedly not have as long a shelf life if your bacteria counts are too high. And yeah, our dairies, all dairies like to get good milk, but we ship to Harrisburg Dairies here in Harrisburg, PA. It's a small, independent, privately owned bottling dairy, and they bottle all their milk. And so they're, yeah, between me and my dad, we've shipped there for I think 70 years, probably at least, if not a little more. And they're always really fussy and particular. They keep you on your toes to keep everything clean. Well, I wanted to say this yet about the milk tank there that I was talking about. It's actually really cool down inside the milk tank when you crawl in there. The milk, when it cools down, they like it under 38 degrees. So yeah, the milkman would have just pumped the milk out and rinsed the tank out with cold water. So might have been a little cooler than 38 degrees, but it felt good down in there. It's really hot out today. It's only about 10:30 in the morning. It's probably 85 degrees already. It's supposed to get up to like 95 or 96 today, I think. But yeah, now I'm up here in my freestyle barn. Got a few things I need to do here on the mats that are on the floor. I'll show a little bit of that. We have rubber mats on the feed alley here, where on the side we feed on. And here when it's getting hotter, there's a couple spots where I guess they're expanding. They're starting to buckle up a little bit. So I'm gonna have to put a few more anchors in to hold it down. Right here's a spot you can probably see. Yeah, it's buckled up probably a good 2 inches there. So if I just put 3 or 4 anchors there in that spot, but mainly the worst is when it's doing it right where there's a seam. The mats we have in our freestall barn here is Animats, and they lock together almost like puzzle pieces, which is a good thing. Right here's a spot you can probably see there where it's coming apart a little bit. But yeah, when it's in a seam that's running long ways, it's not bad. But with our alley scrapers, if you get a seam that's where it's popping up right where they come together on the ends, like right here's actually one, in time that can start coming apart, and your alley scraper will catch that and start pulling them up, and that can be a real mess. It's been years since we had that happen, and yeah, we try to watch for this and make sure we keep them pushed down. Probably we replaced all these mats once already in the freestall barn. Probably another year or 2 or 3, 1 to 3 years, we're gonna have to consider doing it again. But for now, we'll just anchor these down a little better where they're popping up. And it's really expensive to change all the mats out, so we'll do our best to get the most life out of them we can. Once it cools down, they just started popping up a little bit here a week or 2 ago when it got hotter. And yeah, there this week when it's got warmer yet, they really start buckling up. But once it cools down, they'll go back in place and be fine. You just got to work with it and move on. Yeah, it's pretty simple to fix. We just have a DeWalt hammer drill, and it's got a small, I think it's about a 1/4 inch bit on it, maybe a size under 1/4 inch bit. Then we got these little drive-in anchors. This is what they fasten them with. They're about 2 inches long. They have a little kink in them like that. We just put a flat washer in them and drill holes, and I got 2 holes drilled here already on this one. Drive them anchors down in, it'll pull that right down. Here's a spot I put 4 in where it was really popping up. Yeah, you put a flat washer on them and then countersink them down in a little bit, so you don't want to sink them in too far, but enough that the cow, when they walk across it, they don't step on that piece sticking up. But yeah, I was saying about the mats. It's probably been 10 years or more ago. I mean, we've had a mat pull up here and there off and on, but it's been a long time. Hopefully it stays that way. But One time we came up here at least 10, 12 years ago one morning, and there was 6 or 8 of them in a row that were pulled up. Apparently one started coming up and they were drugged down to the end, and man, that was one dirty hot mess to get them all drugged back up in place. And they go together like a puzzle, like I mentioned about, but they don't just slip together easily. They're not real hard, but you kind of got to bump them together with what works the best is the blunt side of a digging iron, like the top, the flat part of it, and just use them to bump them all together. So yeah, you definitely want to try to keep after some of this stuff. And that old saying, a stitch in time will save 9, goes a long ways in a lot of things, but we don't always get it right, but we try to do the best we can. Anytime you're here working, if you let something lay, you better not let it sit for very long, as cows are nosy creatures. I was about 10 feet away here drilling some holes, and I turned around, there was a couple of them there getting ready to nose into my anchors. Yeah, well, I walked back here to check my springers, and here's a heifer that just got done having her calf. It's her first calf that she had. She's a line back, and she had a line back calf. She's licking it all off good, so that's always a blessing. Yeah, I'm not sure yet if it's a heifer or a bull, but we'll soon figure that out. Oh yeah, she had a little heifer calf, and I believe it's even polled. Yeah, she's rounded there on her head. She don't have any horns, so that'll be good too. Yeah, it's nice when they lay down and push out their calf. And it's really hot out this afternoon, but an older cow sometimes it's not the best for them whenever they calve on a really hot afternoon. But the actual temperature is just a little over 100, and I think they're saying the real field's like 110 right now, I think. But in here where there's fans going, it's in the shade, it's not terrible, but it's still hot. It's pretty neat how instinct these cows, 95% of them probably jump up and whirl around and start licking their calves off and clean them all up, and they soon dry off. And a lot of times in less than a half an hour they'll be standing up and trying to nurse. But it's kind of interesting too, like a heifer or a cow, when they have a calf, most you see how she's kind of like nuzzling around there, kind of at its navel and there at its stomach. That's another thing that's apparently with instinct, and it's part of them, like getting them like if a calf's born, they have a little bit of trouble and they're maybe not breathing quite right, man, that gets them breathing in a heartbeat when they do that. It kind of like massages their whole chest area, and yeah, but they often go right for their navel and that stomach area first. And it's yep, pretty neat how God created animals with instinct and know what they need to do. We're up here in what we call our old heifer barn. Yeah, we have 2 heifer barns here, old and then the new one. This one's, the only difference is this one's probably 8 or 10 years older than that one. The one we call the new heifer barn is 25 years old now. So, but yeah, this is where we move them right after they're weaned. Yeah, this group here would have just been weaned here about a week ago. There's one calf there, that 1299. She was just a wee little thing when she was born. Actually, she was a twin. She was a twin to another heifer calf, and her heifer calf died. Her twin heifer calf died. She probably only weighed barely 50 pounds, and she's small, but she's doing well. Yeah, she grew well according to her size when she was born, so we'll see what happens. So she should be all right. She might be a little smaller our life maybe, but possibly. But yeah, then here's the next group of calves. These would be about a week or so older. Yeah, a week to 10 days older. And yeah, then each group down through keeps getting a little bit bigger. And then when there's usually anywhere from 50 to 60 in this group. If we're really, really full, once in a while there might be close to 70 in here. But yeah, we just moved heifers around about a week ago, so we took 15 of the bigger ones out. So right offhand, I'm gonna guess there's around 50 in here at this point. But Not sure about that without counting them, but yeah. Then when they're about 4 or 5 month old at the oldest, they move up into the other heifer barn and go down through that one then. So we just scraped this out this morning. I did it this morning about daylight while it was nice and cool out. And it's been cooling off pretty good at night here, but it's been getting really hot during the day. So, but yeah, they're so far all doing well. We just cleaned all these pens out. We don't have any fans in this barn. Usually make out pretty good because we can open that whole back wall up. But if you have much bedding in the pens, like a bedded pack, it really, in this hot weather, it just starts getting all wet down underneath and really starts like a lot of ammonia coming off the bedded packs. So I think it was Monday I cleaned all these pens out, so they're fresh bedding in there. So probably have to do that again here in a month or so, especially if it stays hotter. But usually in the winter we can get by with cleaning them out every 3-4 month average, but when it's hotter out we actually clean them out more often. We're combining our wheat today. It's really windy out here, so I don't know how good this is going to pick up the sound, but yeah, we have about 40 acres total. We don't grow a lot of wheat, just enough for some straw, and then we'll haul manure on here tomorrow and plant Sudex in here, take off this fall for heifer and dry cow feed for silage. Yeah, we get a local custom guy to come in. I think they have 3 different combines maybe, but don't take long to take her off. It's pretty windy today, so the chaff is really blowing around there in the back. Just do a little video here across the field. Yeah, they got this field, I think this field's 24 acres. They're just about done with this field. But the straw, it's not as tall this year as it is some years. I don't know, it don't quite make sense. Our triticale was taller than most years, but our wheat's a little shorter. So not quite sure why that is, but the grain is yielding good, so that's a plus. But anyhow, yep. You just don't have any control over that. That is what it is, but it always looks really pretty to have these golden brown rows of straw out through the field. But we're gonna round bale probably about 55 or 60 bales, and then we'll get the rest mid-square baled. We use a lot of mid-square bales there in some of our heifer barns and for feed both.
are actually already raked it. And then we got a custom guy to square bale it. And so anyways, we're hauling the first load in. Nice to see this field of wheat, and it's all combined and baled up. And then you look over here and it's a sad sight. Oh my, we need rain really bad. This is actually our neighbor's field, but one down here in the lane on the other side is ours. And yeah, we haven't had much rain at all, and we see out west all the rain and everything, and I don't know, it's getting really dry. We had a really wet spring, a lot of rain, and everything grew really well. So the corn is up, but well, you can't go by that. There's always a spring coming up right here. But the rest of this corn, it just is like, this is also slate land, so that would also make it a little worse. But the corn just does not look very good at all. So we're praying we sure get some rain somewhere. Here's another field of our, it's just a small field, and we round baled those. So, and Arden's in there with 2 round bales coming home.